Our next speakers are Senior Research Officer Miia Herrala from the National Archives.
First of all, thanks for inviting us here to speak today. I am Miia Herrala from National Archives of Finland, and I'm working with the information architecture issues, metadata issues here. Today we are going to tell about our project AHAA and Project Finna and the development of what we have done during the years on these, and show some architecture pictures and tell about the change of situation of description and accessing metadata and archival objects after AHAA and Finna. AHAA metadata repository is made in National Archives of Finland project that took place in 2012 to 2018. Main development was made in database, but also descriptive standard for AHAA was developed during the project. When we are at implementation stage, this and next year, we're going to have National Archives of Finland public sector material and also private sector material on the AHAA metadata repository. We also will have 6 private sector archives that have material metadata in AHAA service. How is AHAA and Finna were possible? We were funded by Finnish Ministry of Education and Culture that played a crucial role in both Finna development at large and also at the AHAA development. Finna development is, in this case, was very much based on the needs of the AHAA data model, this new description model that come from Finnish conceptual model. But also other needs of organizations about services Finna need to address. And then there's some timelining here. First Finna requirement analysis took place in 2013, but active Finna changes planning started from 2015. Coding work will be done later this fall. So we are hoping to get Finna publishing running on after migration stages later this year and during the next year, 2019. What we see here is AHAA as a metadata repository, but to maintain and have the proper user interface, you need to sort of combine different services. So from AHAA repository, there comes EAD3 and EAC CPF files to Finna index. And there's also, we send these hyperlinks to digital archive that have the actual digital content. And when the user searches metadata material from Finna and finds sort of usable material, he or she could just move forward to another service, like in this case, digital archives, to see the actual digital content. There also could be some other user interfaces, because we at the AHAA service, we provide metadata to all kinds of services that could use the same metadata. Finna also provides metadata via Finna API to people to have the public metadata available at Finna Index. I shortly mentioned that AHAA data model follows Finnish conceptual model for archive description. We don't describe only material, but we use different entities to description. We have material for the basic ordinary archival kind of description. And then we have these manifestations to make the distinction between analog and digital manifestations. It's much more easier to administrate all these different kinds of content by using this manifestation entity. We also have agent entity in our description that is interoperability. It has with RDA description standard that is in Finland is commonly we are providing that agent descriptions are done via RDA agent description. So if the library describes agents similarly, if museums use the same kinds of metadata fields and content, it's much more easier to make good services, make more better searches to material and agents. AHAA description also enables multi-level description, not only traditional hierarchical description. So we have lots of relations, rich relations between all these descriptive entities. And we emphasize all the relations instead of free text description because it's so much more useful to reuse cases. And one more AHAA description thing is this, that we have very structured metadata for both restricted metadata description and the restricted material description. So it's much more easier to have the machine-readable descriptions on whether someone could use the metadata or what kind of rights he or she needs to have to access that metadata, or how and what kinds of restriction and access demands there are on material. And some other points that we hope to gain for efficient accessing of metadata. In AHAA, we use these Finto vocabularies that are that could be used via internet, but also via other interfaces. So we could have metadata values from standard way metadata values, for example, on keywords, occupations, and places. So everyone who has used the same vocabulary, for instance, Finna, they could use, Finna knows that, okay, this is the same place than the other, because they have these juries for identifying the content. But there are links if you want to sort of self-explore what kind of service this Finna is, or Finto is, later on these slides. We have language versioning that is very usually very easy to use in AHAA service, these vocabularies. For instance, we could provide many of the metadata fields with at least with 4 languages, which are Finnish, Swedish, English, and Sámi. But also every possible language could be used there because it's so easy to maintain this kind of information if needed. Then we provide public and restricted metadata for different services at the moment. Public metadata goes to finnabi.fi service later this year, and restricted metadata to our National Archives service, ASTIA, at the moment. We have strong libraries, archives, museums collaboration in Finland. The collaboration was quite strong before the Ministry of Education and Culture National Digital Library project that took place 2008 to 2017. But the project, this National Digital Library project, even deepened the cooperation between LAM sector organizations. And we think that one end-user accessing point of information retrieval is a very good thing. Finna search is effective, and Finna could develop its service very fluently. I mentioned earlier these metadata reuse things, but there's sort of noticed the same thing. So we provide these EAD3s and EAC CPFs, and each of the AHAA organizations' datasets we give for harvesting could be harvested separately. So if one service needs one organization metadata, it could be arranged. Or when Finna harvests these organizations, AHAA Finna uses these sets of organizations as well. And some before and after AHAA notes. In AHAA project, there was some smaller archives that didn't have even a single kind of online catalogus. Some of these were on the archives website, but many of the cases there was only printed archive directories in the archive building. So it was, you need to go to the archive to access what kind of material the archive has. Now when AHAA comes to use, it enables digital cataloging in user interface, but also the, exporting this metadata to Finna, to this huge search engine. And Finna enables then effective search for interesting material across the libraries, archives, museums, metadata published in Finna.